The year is 2020. There is a pandemic. Everyone is locked in their houses, terrified, and there's no toilet paper. That was the year I discovered Cells at Work. Season 1 actually aired in 2018, the year before COVID-19. I think that's kind of interesting. But, I mean, for no other reason than just timing. Anyway, Cells at Work, this anime, somehow manages to be educational, hilarious, and surprisingly emotional. And also way bloodier than you would expect. The concept is brilliantly simple. The anime takes place inside the human body, where every cell is represented as a person with a specific job. Red blood cells deliver oxygen and nutrients. White blood cells hunt down invaders. Platelets are adorable, tiny construction workers. Killer T cells are basically angry military. Also, shout out to macrophage. Every episode focuses on a different biological problem. Bacteria, viruses, allergies, food poisoning, heat stroke, and more. And it never feels boring. The two central characters in Season 1 are Red Blood Cell and White Blood Cell. Red Blood Cell is hardworking, enthusiastic, and constantly lost. Then there's White Blood Cell. He's calm, serious, and covered in blood most of the time. Which brings me to one of the strangest things about this anime. This show is pretty bloody. And that sounds weird to say, given the concept. Or maybe not. Whenever the immune cells fight invading germs, there is a lot of blood spraying everywhere. White blood cell wears an all-white uniform, and every time he defeats some bacteria or other germ, he gets splattered. And for some reason, the contrast of all that red on his completely white character is oddly satisfying. It's like the show knows exactly how dramatic it looks and just leans into it. So yes, there is a lot of violence, but it's stylized and often played for laughs. One of my favorite parts of the show is the dynamic between White Blood Cell and Red Blood Cell. He's this stoic, hyper-competent, germ-slaying machine. She's earnest, lovable, and hopelessly directionally challenged. And because she's always getting lost, she runs into White Blood Cell much more often than either of them would expect if she were following the route that she should be following. It creates a really cute and entertaining relationship. Their interactions are typically pretty simple and casual, but the dynamic makes the show genuinely charming.
Is that you, White Blood Cell? It totally is!
Guess so. We see each other a lot.
What surprised me most is how informative this anime actually is. This show is unapologetically nerdy. And I mean that in the best way possible. You learn what different cells do, how pathogens attack the body, and how your immune system responds to different threats. It turns biology into an action-adventure story. And because each cell is such a strong personality, the science becomes easy to remember and fun to follow. I honestly walked away from the show feeling like I learned more than I expected.
The virus is spreading so fast.
Influenza virus proliferation. The influenza virus is said to multiply by 100 after 8 hours inside the body and by 1 million after a single day.
Which brings me to the cancer cell episode. Without spoiling too much, the writing actually made me feel sympathy for a cancer cell, which is wild. This is literally one of the body's most dangerous enemies, and yet the show presents the character in such a tragic and thoughtful way.
They're not really gonna kill us, right? I mean, we didn't do anything wrong. This is how we are.
That episode was the moment I realized that this anime has more emotional depth than I was expecting, and better writing than maybe I was giving it credit for. So, is it worth watching? Absolutely. It's funny, it's wholesome, it's educational, surprisingly emotional, and maybe most importantly, entertaining. Season 1 does an excellent job of balancing action, comedy, and actual science. The only real caveat is the blood and violence. Even though it's handled in a stylized and often comical way, there is still a lot of slashing and red blood spray. So, if that kind of imagery bothers you, this may not be your thing. But for everyone else, I highly recommend it. Cells at Work is one of those anime that sounds ridiculous until you actually watch it. So yes, this anime is definitely worth watching, and you might even learn something along the way.